Mr. Excel podcast is sponsored by Easy Excel. Learn Excel from Mr. Excel episode 1674. Visualize airline flight with GeoFlow. Well, hey, if you travel a lot, there's a good chance that you use flightstats.com, and FlightStats is great for tracking flights. If you can find a flight that is currently en route and click on the flight number, they offer to show you your position on a map right here. But they also have this interesting link for See Position Details, which shows you the last 200 minutes of the flight, if they've in fact been in flight for 200 minutes. And at each point it shows you the latitude, the longitude, the altitude, and also the airspeed. And so the flight that I frequently take is Akron-Canton to Orlando. So actually, while I was on that flight, I used the AirTran Wi-Fi and started to download that data. And then once I landed, I was able to come back and get the complete set. Now this is actually from a flight that I didn't take, but it's the flight that I usually take. So we have time, airspeed, altitude. Be careful there. The first position is always 40,000. If they don't know what the position is, they use 40,000. So those were still on the ground. And then I added category. Whether we're under 10,000 feet, can't use your computer. Climbing, level flight, and then descending, and then back under 10,000 feet, latitude and longitude. So I said this would be an interesting thing to see in GeoFlow. GeoFlow is the new beta tool for Excel 2013. So I'm going to make this into a table, Control T, and I don't have to rename it. I am going to rename it though, just to call it flight data. And we will add this table to the data model. So Power Pivot tab, add to data model. I don't have to do anything else here, so I go back to Excel, and then on the data tab, 3D map, explore in 3D. Now what's nice is the data from FlightStats has latitude and longitude, so we just have to choose those and click map it, and you see that they instantly draw in the flight path from Akron-Canton right there down to Orlando. But we can use some of GeoFlow's tools to make this more interesting. I'm going to add the category field to category, which is going to change the color, so I can see at the ends there where I could not use the computer. Climbing, level flight, and then descending. They actually start descending in Georgia in order to land in Orlando. And then let's add altitude as the height. Okay, now we're going to use some of the fly tools here in GeoFlow. Oh, that's interesting. We have one duplicate data point right there. All right, I'm going to hold down the Alt key and try and draw a big circle here. And then I'm going to Control and wheel mouse in. And then Alt and drag up to tip. All right, so now I can actually, let me try the Alt trick again here to rotate a little bit more. And Alt, drag up to tip. There we go. All right, so now I actually have a picture of this flight as it unfolded. All right, and here let's use the time function. I'll take the time field and drag that down to the time drop zone. And we can now see the flight. Let's go back to the beginning here. All right, click go. And we actually see the flight as it unfolds. Seems to be taking an average of a few different data points there. And see, did you see that at the end? They actually went south of the airport and then came back up. All right, let's take a look at our time choices down here, because this will really show the difference. If we choose persist time data and play the animation, you'll see that it keeps the past data. And if we unchoose that, and temporal accumulation, again, this seems to be about the same. I really don't understand the difference between those two at this point, and hopefully before this comes out of beta, that'll explain that a bit better. wonder if they will give me a choice here to average this instead of sum it. That would allow that duplicate data point. Strange that flight stats is giving us a duplicate data point for that one. And that actually makes everything taller because we don't have the really high average or the really high sum where there were 2 points at 1 minute. So it's crazy. They were landing from south to north. Now here's interesting. So if we zoom in, I'm going to zoom in towards the Orlando airport. You can actually get that picture of how they came down right over, right west of downtown Orlando, which is here, and then landed from north to south. And if we zoom in enough, sure enough, that last data point there is right on the airport. I'll zoom out, control, and wheel mouse up, wheel mouse down, and we'll go up to the origin of the flight. And zoom in. And there again, you can see the Akron-Canton airport. Obviously, they used that runway right there to take off, and then started to turn to the south. And it wasn't long. 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes into the flight, we get the ding that it's okay to use portable electronic devices. So I just thought this was a interesting little view. You know, sometimes you'll be on the airplane and say, "Oh, I wonder what lake that is." You could actually, with this, go back and see the exact path of where you flew the whole trip. GeoFlow, brand new product coming out from Microsoft for Excel 2013. Currently in beta. You can go search for GeoFlow if you have Excel 2013 and check this out. Well, hey, I want to thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another netcast. Mr. Excel.